Hey everybody, this is Aaron Murakami with A&P Electronic Media, and we have some exciting news here. Today is May 24th, 2018, and I have Geoffrey Miller on the line with EnergyBatLabs.com. Can you hear me okay, Geoffrey?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, so we didn't really have time to prepare a call or, invite anybody on for, Q&A session or anything, but I'm pretty sure we can maybe do one after a certain video is coming out. And so, do you want to kind of give a little synopsis of the first part of this video that's coming out with Bedini, which it seems like to be a pretty rare video that most people don't know about, and I don't believe that it was actually ever released by anybody or any organization.
Yeah, I'll be glad to. Basically, let's put it this way, the actual Bedini video fell in my hands, and after looking at it and everything, I thought, hey, it'd be a good tribute to put out there from John so that everybody could actually see at the end of the day his work when he was a young guy and flawless on a blackboard. You have Bearden, Tom Bearden, that introduces him in the beginning, and then John goes ahead and starts going into a lot of the stuff on the blackboard, explains a lot of things that are from an energy relationship point of view that he did when he was a young person. And then after that, it segues into Peter Linderman doing that, and they worked together a little bit back then. And then at the very end, there's a reference to Joe Newman, but then at that point, the video ends, and you don't get to see the movie that they were going to actually say. So I don't want to go anything more than that because the video will all speak for itself, both parts of it. Since Aaron, you've divided it, which is really good because it's very, very separate once you get to know each side of the video. So I'm looking forward to having it out there, and it'll be a good tribute to John Bedini and everything, especially for his wife and stuff, since she's still alive. And everybody will get a new perspective on who he was when he was a young person.
Right. Yeah, and the two parts. And so, Bearden does a little, actually probably about a 10, 15-minute introduction on a certain part of John's work. And then John gets up, and it's a completely unrelated topic to what Bearden just introduced him for. And then he goes on about maybe almost a half an hour on one particular topic, and then he gets back to the topic for about, another half an hour or something on what Bearden originally introduced him to. So it really is two separate topics, and so, that's why it's kind of cut in half. And so, the first part.
One other thing I want to tell you about it is towards the end you get to see one of John Bedini's original free energy motors that he sets up. And the only person I think really can give validation on that from that point of view would be Peter Linderman, since he was actually there and he saw it. And it'll be very interesting to see his opinion if he ever chimes in after the videos are released, because he was the one person there that actually saw that unit run. So,
right. And then Bearden in the beginning, when he's doing his introduction for John on that particular device, Bearden shows a picture of a larger unit sitting on a bench in one of John's shops. And in this video, John runs it. He explains it, gives a full diagrams, explains the problems people have had with replicating it, and he kind of gives the keys on how to properly replicate it. And then he actually runs the device. Unfortunately, the audience gets up, and so you can't actually see it running, but they're watching it run. But there is a part where you can kind of see this, a much smaller, almost pocket-size unit that's sitting on the table there that he ran for everybody, but kept itself charged up and basically self-ran. And so as far as I know, nobody has ever seen that video clip or, seen that presentation.
And you're right. And I actually have about 3 of his original machines, because what John did was he actually had a paper written on a free energy machine that went through, I think it was Tesla Book Company, and it was actually just really a paper before it was even put into the little paperback book thing. And then I have 2 copies from John that are actually signed. So it was pretty good. And it was real simple. If you follow the information and everything, then you could build it. And he was right about it, but nobody's really gone there. But you got to be a builder. So I respect people that aren't builders, because if they can't do that, they can only rely on other people that can do it. So
right.
That's where I'm at with the building thing. I have building skills. A lot of people don't. So if they can't do it, they can only live through other people.
Right. Yeah, and something that's pretty interesting is you can see that during this video, John is very, very forward and very open and uninhibited in what he is actually saying is going on in these, as far as, free energy claims and that kind of thing, where, at one point, I think not too long after that, he was actually threatened. And, so you can see he's kind of mellowed out after that and was very reserved in what he was willing to say, but he lets it out.
Yep. That was absolutely I think that LA conference that he ended up having with that radio talk show host.
I think it was a town hall conference or something.
Yeah, the town hall conference where he sits there and you have the municipality electric company people saying, well, you're telling us that, like, your machine will get rid of, like, $1 billion or $1 trillion worth of money and everything like that. And John goes, yeah. So at that point, he started stepping on the big dinosaurs' feet, and basically I don't think they liked it.
Right.
And so I personally think that John, from that point of view, probably should have just started putting this stuff into small stuff like, a refrigerator or things like that, so that they were self-sustained at that point and gotten it out at that point. And then at the same time, with all his battery chargers and everything like that, have a company go ahead and do it and everything, instead of him going ahead and doing it. But he wanted to be hands-on, and that's John.
Right. So the first one that will be released is the topic unrelated to what Tom Bearden introduced him for, and that's a whole standalone topic where he shows the inner workings of a certain technology, which was kind of, one of the other holy grails of free energy that a lot of people getting into this stuff these days have, never heard of that person, but people who've been around for a while are very familiar with what John is teaching, as far as, the person who developed the thing that John replicated.
Yeah.
And,
And all you have to understand about John is, like Bearden said in a couple of Craddock videos, is John would run around and look for rocks, and he got into crystals, and he got into the rocks, and he started studying them. And once he understood what he could do with them and everything, just take one of the videos he's actually been put out by Anthony Craddock, was his actual stuff for the stereo amplifier and everything, and the actual transistor that he makes out of, like, nothing. And so that's sort of a clue what's going to be coming in that video. And both standalone videos, when you release them, the 2-part stuff will be really, really great. And it's stuff that, outside of me personally, I think it's some of the best videos that you'll see in the last, 30 years. And if you're into John Bedini and his heritage and everything that he's done, it's a compliment, because you see him when he's, really young, and he was top on his game.
Right.
And he was open. Not that he was open as he got older. It's just the in-between area he just couldn't deal with. Too many people, too much stuff. And at the end of the day, it ends up being like, hey, this is what I did young, and then people will be able to correlate what he did young, what he did old, and then be able to sit there and just basically enjoy it and then apply it. That's the thing.
Right.
These videos, you can actually apply the knowledge if you are a builder. If you're not a builder, go find one, then you can invest in that and then be able to build it.
Right. Yeah, he gives very clear instructions on exactly what he did to replicate, both sides of it. The self-running one, and also the the other thing that you alluded to.
Yeah.
Because he's basically explaining what he did to replicate it. So it's, you know, there's not really any details missing. But, of course, like you said, people have to be a builder and, you know, kind of have the wherewithal to do it.
And then in the second part, you're going to see where Peter Linderman gets up there and starts talking about a certain device and everything, and he goes into it, and people will be able to do that type of device once you understand what they've presented on the board. And all the boards, I mean, all the stuff on the board, Blackboard back in the day in '84, you'll be able to sit there and, you know, copy, you know, and apply it if you have the will to do it.
Mm-hmm. Right. So this talk was actually done by a certain organization where one of the people running it actually tasked you with, you know, essentially requesting your help in actually getting this out.
Yeah, through other partners. And I've known the organization for a long time and everything like that. And I actually went to one or two of their events and stuff. And so it was just basically found in a box, and it's got to go out. And people within the organization said, let's get it out. Put it through you so that you can correctly market it and put it out so people could actually understand it, and you have the audience to do so.
Right, right. So, yeah, I know a lot of people is going to appreciate this, and you know, I appreciate the opportunity to, you know, put this into my hands for me to be able to get it out. And so, you know, I'm sure people are going to be talking about this once it's out, you know, especially this first part, because, I mean, it's just so clear that, you know, people are going to be wondering, you know, where's this been hiding all this time?
Oh, yeah.
But,
and
you know.
The other thing, Aaron, is this is such a good preemptive thing to your conference that, you know, people need to get this, because then once they get the videos and they understand it, then they can come to the conference and they can all actually talk about it while they're at the conference, and they'll understand, hey, you know, remember this, and that always filled a gap in there, or that filled a gap, or this idea. They'll be able to correspond with each other, and they'll help each other out at the conference. And that's the whole point of the conference, is to actually, even though the talks are good, the key thing is all the people talking about this stuff, you know, between themselves for the next 4 days.
Right.
Yeah. So that's about it from the video point of view.
Okay. Well, today's the 24th. Eric Dollar just got to town here the day before yesterday, helping him put together his PowerPoint for his 4-hour presentation he's going to be giving, which is quite a job. But
I know that, and I'm looking forward to actually seeing his presentation from the first presentation like 2 years ago.
Right. So the first part of the video, our goal is to release it by the end of the month, which is, I don't know, by next Wednesday or Thursday or whatever it is. And then the following one, that will be released maybe by the second week of June.
Well, that's great, Aaron. I thank you a lot for that.
So, okay. Well, I appreciate your time, Geoffrey. We'll get this up on YouTube as soon as possible, and then we'll just go from there. And hope everybody enjoys the video. It's definitely going to be something that... One
thing I want to close with and everything is I've had 5 people. It's funny you just called here. I've had 5 people here all day long, and they're actually, right now, they're flying a jet around. It's 45 miles an hour, an RC jet. But the point I want to get at is that we will be able to have, and they verified 10 ways to hell that our impulse motor absolutely runs on a dipole situation that reconfirms what Bearden has talked about, and we're talking about having kits made, and we'll be able to put everything together in the next probably half year, and they'll be available through you probably.
Right. Yeah, don't kill the dipole.
Nope, that's the whole point. So have a great day, and thanks for the interview, and anything else I can help you with, let me know.
Okay. Take care, Geoffrey.
Okay, have a great night.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Yep. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.